12 R&B compositions so flawless, so emotionally perfect that hundreds of artists across 7 decades couldn't resist recording their own versions.
A long time coming, but I know.
You've heard every single one of these songs. You've probably heard 5 or 6 versions of each without even realizing it. But here's what most people don't know. Some of the versions you love most aren't even the originals, and some of the originals nearly forgotten. The artists who wrote them sometimes lost their own songs to singers who came after. These are the 12 most covered songs in R&B history. And the stories behind why they keep getting remade, the feuds, the transformations, the moments of pure creative theft will change how you hear them forever. Number 12, I Heard It Through the Grapevine by Gladys Knight and the Pips. Now here's a song that hit number 1 twice with 2 completely different versions on the same label within 14 months of each other. I Heard It Through the Grapevine. Norman Whitfield and Barrett Strong wrote it in 1966 for Motown. And here's where the story gets complicated. They recorded it with at least 4 different artists before anyone heard it publicly. Smokey Robinson and the Miracles cut it first. Motown shelved it. Marvin Gaye recorded it next. Berry Gordy thought it was too dark, too different from Marvin's smooth image. Shelved again. Then Gladys Knight and the Pips got it in 1967. Their version finally came out, went to number 2 on the pop charts, number 1 R&B for 6 weeks. Massive, undeniable hit. But Berry Gordy was still sitting on that Marvin Gaye recording, and he kept thinking about it. Something about the way Marvin delivered those paranoid, heartbroken lyrics over that churning rhythm track. In October 1968, over a year after Gladys Knight's version, Motown finally released Marvin's take. And you know what happened? It didn't just chart. It became the biggest selling Motown single of the entire 1960s. Same song, same label, same year essentially. 2 completely different emotional experiences. Gladys Knight's version is urgent, confrontational. She's demanding answers. Marvin's is wounded, almost defeated. He's processing betrayal in real time. And that's before we even get to Creedence Clearwater Revival, who turned it into an 11-minute psychedelic rock jam in 1970. A white rock band from California doing an extended workout on a Motown soul song. It worked. The song has been covered over 150 times since then. Michael McDonald. The Temptations recorded a version 2, which Motown also initially rejected. If you ask 10 people which version is their favorite, you'll get 10 different answers, and every single one of them will be right. That's what happens when a song is built on something universal. The fear that someone you love is being taken from you. That fear doesn't expire. Number 11, A Change Is Gonna Come, Sam Cooke, 1964.
Oh, yes it will.
Sam Cooke recorded this song in January 1964. It was released as a B-side in December of that year, 3 weeks after his death. And here's what haunts me about that timing. Sam didn't want to release it at all while he was alive. He said it scared him. Every time he performed it, he had to relive the pain that created it. See, in 1963, Sam Cooke was one of the biggest stars in America, crossing over from gospel to pop, selling millions of records, staying at nice hotels, except when he couldn't.
But now I think I'm able to.
October 1963, Sam and his band pulled up to a Holiday Inn in Shreveport, Louisiana. They had reservations. The desk clerk took one look at them and said the hotel was full. It wasn't full. Sam knew it wasn't full, but what could he do?
I go to the movie.
He was arrested that night for disturbing the peace when he refused to leave the parking lot quietly. He went home to Los Angeles and wrote, "A Change Is Gonna Come." Listen to that original recording sometime. Really listen to it. The strings don't just accompany his voice. They swell like something between a symphony and a funeral march.
A long time coming, but
Sam called it the hardest song he ever wrote. He performed it exactly once on television, on The Tonight Show, in February 1964. He looked uncomfortable the entire time, like the song was pulling something out of him he couldn't control. Then, on December 11th, 1964, Sam Cooke was shot and killed at a motel in Los Angeles under circumstances that remain controversial to this day.
a change gonna come.
3 weeks later, A Change Is Gonna Come hit the charts. Since then, Otis Redding covered it. Aretha Franklin made it a civil rights anthem. Seal recorded it. John Legend performed it at the Obama inauguration concert in 2009.
Beyond the sky, it's been a long.
Over 60 major versions exist. And here's what every artist who covers it says. The same thing Sam said. It's the hardest song they've ever had to sing because the song isn't about hoping for change. Listen to those lyrics. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. That's not optimism. That's endurance. That's deciding to keep going even when you're not sure why.
'Cause I don't know what's up there.
Some songs are just vessels. They carry whatever weight you bring to them, and this one was built to carry everything.
And I go downtown.
Real talk. Only 9% of you watching this are actually subscribed. That hurts a little, not gonna lie. We spend hours digging through archives, fact-checking every detail, bringing these stories back to life because this music deserves to be remembered. And you're here because you care about that too. So if these videos mean something to you, if you've ever said, "Damn, I didn't know that," or felt something while watching, just hit subscribe. It's free, takes 2 seconds, and it tells YouTube to show this to more people who love this music like we do. Let's build this together. All right, back to the story. Number 10, What's Going On? Marvin Gaye, 1971.
Picket lines and picket signs.
Marvin Gaye fought Berry Gordy for a full year to release this song. 12 months of arguments, threats, and negotiations. Gordy thought it was career suicide, too political, too risky. Motown was in the business of making hits, not statements. Marvin threatened to never record for Motown again if they didn't release it. He meant it. And here's the thing you need to understand about that threat. Marvin Gaye was Motown's biggest male star. This wasn't a bluff from someone with nothing to lose. This was leverage.
War is not the answer for only love.
The song came from conversations with his brother Frankie, who had just returned from Vietnam. Frankie would tell Marvin stories about what he saw over there, the chaos, the violence, the confusion. And Marvin kept asking the same question over and over. What is going on? That question became the title, became the thesis, became one of the most important R&B songs ever recorded. January 1971, Motown finally released it. The song became the fastest-selling single in Motown history at that point. It spent 5 weeks at number 1 on the R&B charts, and it opened the door for Marvin to record an entire concept album with the same title, something Motown had never allowed before. The album addressed war, poverty, ecology, drug abuse. This was not, I heard it through the grapevine. This was something else entirely. And it worked because Marvin fought for it. Since then, Cyndi Lauper covered it in 1987. Donny Hathaway recorded a devastating version before his death in 1979. Stevie Wonder performed it at Marvin's funeral in 1984. Imagine that. One Motown legend eulogizing another with the song that changed both their lives. And in September 2001, just weeks after the attacks, over 50 artists recorded a benefit version together. Same question, different era, still no easy answers. You know what makes this song immortal? It never tries to provide answers. It just keeps asking, and every generation hears that question and thinks Marvin's talking directly to them. He probably is. Number 9, Let's Stay Together by Al Green, 1971. Al Green almost wasn't a soul singer. That's the part of this story most people don't know. He'd been doing gospel, traveling with his family's gospel group as a kid. Then he pivoted to secular music and had a minor hit in 1968 with Backup Train. But his career stalled. He met Willie Mitchell in 1969, producer, band leader, architect of what would become the Memphis Sound. Mitchell signed him to High Records and started reshaping his approach. Less shouting, more subtlety, more space in the arrangements. Al was resistant at first. He didn't trust the pocket. Let's Stay Together came in 1971. Al Green and Willie Mitchell wrote it together, along with drummer Al Jackson Jr. And here's what's wild about the recording session. Al Green initially thought the melody was too simple. He wanted something more complex. Mitchell told him to trust the groove, that bass line from Leroy Hodges, the way the drums and organ just lock into each other like a heartbeat, the strings floating on top. Mitchell said simplicity wasn't weakness. Simplicity was confidence. He was right. The song hit number 1 on both the R&B and pop charts in the first week of January 1972. It became the biggest song of 1972 on the R&B charts. And Al Green's falsetto on that track and floating up into the ether on the word "you" defined romantic soul music for the entire decade. Since then, the song has never really left. Tina Turner covered it in 1984. Her version is completely different, raspy, almost desperate, like she's fighting for the relationship instead of celebrating it. It went to number 26 on the pop charts and reintroduced the song to a new generation. Isaac Hayes covered it, so did Seal. And in January 2012, President Barack Obama sang a few bars of it at a fundraiser at the Apollo Theater. The sitting president of the United States singing Al Green at the Apollo, the crowd went crazy. Obama smiled and said, I'm so in love with you. The video went viral. Over 70 versions of this song exist, but nothing touches that original falsetto. Nothing comes close to how Al Green makes Staying Together sound like both the easiest and the hardest decision you'll ever make. It's not a promise, it's a prayer. Number 8, I'll Take You There by the Staple Singers, 1972.
Smiling faces. No.
The Staple Singers, 1972. Number 1 for 4 weeks. And if you grew up in a black household in the 70s, this song was the backdrop of your entire childhood. Cookouts, family reunions, Sunday mornings after church. When the formal worship was over and the fellowship began, Mavis Staples' voice on that track doesn't just invite you somewhere better, it demands you come along. There's an authority in how she sings I'll Take You There that sounds less like a promise and more like an instruction. But here's what's interesting about this song structurally.
Calling, call for mercy. I'll take you there.
Listen to it again sometime. Really pay attention. There's almost nothing there. Sparse instrumentation, a bass line that grooves but doesn't overpower. No real verse-chorus structure in the traditional sense. Just Mavis calling and her family responding. Ain't nobody crying. Ain't nobody worried.
I'll take you there. Ain't nobody crying.
Her father, Roebuck Pops Staples, on guitar. Her sisters on backing vocals. The whole thing feels improvised, even though it wasn't.
Let me take you there. I'll take you there. Oh.
The Staples were a gospel family before they crossed over. Pop Staples had been friends with Martin Luther King Jr. They performed at civil rights rallies. So when Mavis sings about taking you to a place where there ain't no lying, where there ain't no dying, she's not just talking about a physical destination. She's talking about a world that doesn't exist yet, but should. The promised land, the mountaintop, the place King described and never got to see. That simplicity is exactly what makes the song so coverable. General Public hit number 14 with their version in 1994, adding a reggae-influenced bounce that worked better than it should have. BB and CeCe Winans recorded it, bringing it back to its gospel roots. Ruben Studdard covered it after winning American Idol, and every version works because the song isn't about the arrangement. It's about the destination. Take away the specifics and you're left with the universal longing, the desire to be somewhere better than where you are, somewhere safe, somewhere that feels like home even if you've never been there. When someone asks what R&B means at its spiritual core, this is the answer, not just rhythm and blues, faith and hope. Number 7, Respect by Otis Redding, 1965. This is the story of a song being stolen in plain sight and the thief becoming more famous than the original owner. Otis Redding wrote Respect in 1965. He recorded it for his album Otis Blue. The song went to number 35 on the pop charts. Respectable numbers, a hit by most standards. In Otis's version, he's coming home from work. He's tired. He's brought the money. All he wants is a little respect when he walks through that door. It's a man's plea to his woman. Reasonable, maybe a little demanding. Very much of its time. Then Aretha Franklin entered the picture. She'd been recording for Columbia Records since the early 60s with limited commercial success. Atlantic Records signed her in late 1966. Her producer, Jerry Wexler, played her a stack of songs to consider. Respect was in that pile. Aretha listened to Otis's version and said she could do something with it. What she did was rewrite the entire emotional architecture of the song. Listen to both versions back to back. Otis is asking for respect. Aretha's demanding it. And she didn't just change the delivery, she changed the lyrics. She added the spelling, R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. She added, sock it to me, sock it to me. That was her sister Carolyn's idea, a phrase that was popular in black neighborhoods at the time. She added TCB, taking care of business. She sped up the tempo. She added call and response with her sisters on backing vocals. By the time she was done, it wasn't the same song anymore. It was a declaration of independence. When Otis Redding heard it, he said to him, "That girl took my song from me." But here's the part that gets left out of most retellings. He wasn't angry. He was impressed. At the Monterey Pop Festival in June 1967, just weeks after Aretha's version hit number 1, Otis performed Respect and introduced it from the stage as a song a girl took away from me. A friend of mine, this girl, she just took this song. He said it laughing. He knew what Aretha had done. She hadn't just covered his song, she'd transformed it into something bigger than he ever imagined. Over 100 versions have been recorded since. Diana Ross and the Supremes recorded it with the Temptations. The Blues Brothers did it. Kelly Clarkson. But when you hear the word respect in any context, anywhere in the world, you hear Aretha's voice. Not Otis's. That's not covering a song. That's ownership. That's conquest. Number 6, Killing Me Softly with His Song by Roberta Flack, 1973. This song has one of the strangest origin stories in pop music history. It starts with a 19-year-old named Lori Lieberman sitting in the Troubadour Club in Los Angeles in 1971 watching Don McLean perform. She'd never heard of him before.
I felt all flushed with fever.
And something about the way he sang, the vulnerability, the way he seemed to be pulling the words from somewhere painful, made her feel exposed, like he was singing about her life.
In all my dark despair.
She went home and wrote a poem about the experience on a cocktail napkin. Her collaborators, Norman Gimbel and Charles Fox, turned that poem into a song. Lieberman recorded it first in 1972. It didn't chart. Nobody noticed. Then Roberta Flack got on an airplane. Yeah, she was listening to the in-flight audio entertainment. Remember when planes had those little channels you could tune into? And Killing Me Softly with His Song came through her headphones.
I heard he had a style.
Roberta said she listened to it 8, maybe 10 times before the plane landed. She couldn't get it out of her head. By the time she touched down, she knew she had to record it.
With this song, telling my whole life.
Her version came out in early 1973. It went to number 1, stayed there for 5 weeks, more weeks than any other song that year. Won Record of the Year and Best Female Pop Vocal at the Grammys. Roberta Flack had found her signature song, and then the song went quiet for over 2 decades. Not forgotten, just resting. In 1996, a hip-hop trio called the Fugees was recording their second album, The Score. Member Pra Michelle suggested they cover Killing Me Softly. They wanted to change the lyrics to address poverty and drug abuse in the inner city. The original songwriters refused. You can cover a song without permission, but you can't change it. So the Fugees kept the lyrics and reinvented the arrangement instead.
I heard he sang.
Lauryn Hill sang Lead. That opening, just her voice with a faint organ behind it, became one of the most recognizable intros of the entire 1990s.
Killing me softly with his song. Killing me softly.
Their version went number 1 in over 20 countries, won a Grammy, sold millions. Both versions made Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Songs list. Both won major awards. Same song, 23 years apart, different generations, different genres, different contexts, and eventually Roberta Flack and Lauryn Hill performed it together on stage. The original and the reimagining, side by side.
With his word, killing me softly.
Here's what both performances have in common. Both women sing it like they're the only person in the room, like every single word is a confession meant for no one else. That's not technique, that's truth, and truth is what makes a song survive.
Killing me softly with his song. Killing me softly.
Number 5, My Girl by The Temptations, 1964.
My girl, talking about.
Smokey Robinson wrote this song in 1964 for his wife Claudette. They'd been high school sweethearts in Detroit, married in 1959, and Smokey had already written My Guy for Mary Wells. That song hit number 1 earlier in 1964. My Girl was the answer song. Same template, different perspective, but Smokey didn't record it with his own group, The Miracles. He gave it to The Temptations. Why? Because he'd seen David Ruffin perform one night. The Temptations had been struggling. Good voices, great stage presence, but no real breakthrough hit. David Ruffin had just joined the group, replacing a member who'd been fired. Ruffin had this voice that was simultaneously tender and rough, like sandpaper wrapped in silk. Smokey saw him sing Under the Boardwalk during a show and knew immediately that voice needed a vehicle, something sweet but powerful, something that could showcase both the softness and the grit. My Girl was that vehicle. December 1964, the song dropped. That opening bass line from James Jamerson. Those two ascending guitar notes from Robert White. You hear those first four sounds and your body knows exactly what's coming. By March 1965, it was number one on both the pop and R&B charts. The Temptations had finally broken through, and David Ruffin, who the Drifters had initially rejected, was now the lead voice of Motown's premier male vocal group. Over 270 versions have been recorded since. Otis Redding covered it in 1965. His version made the UK Top 15. The Rolling Stones recorded it the same year. Al Green tackled it on his first album for High Records, The Mamas and the Papas. Bobby V.
I've got the month of May.
Hall & Oates performed it live with David Ruffin and Eddie Kendricks in 1985. And Dolly Parton regendered it as My Love on one of her albums. In 1991, the song became the theme for a movie literally titled My Girl, about childhood friendship and loss. A whole new generation fell in love with it. And in 2024, New York Mets shortstop Francisco Lindor used it as his walk-up music during the playoffs. Fans at Citi Field sang along during his at-bats. The Temptations, the actual group, with original member Otis Williams still performing, came to the stadium to sing it live before a playoff game. 60 years after it was written, still hidden, still connecting. You know what every cover has in common? Nobody tries to improve it. They just try to honor it, because some songs are already perfect. The best you can do is not mess them up. Number 4, At Last, by Etta James, 1960.
They're over.
This song is much older than most people realize. It wasn't written for Etta James. It wasn't written for any R&B singer at all.
The sky.
Mack Gordon and Harry Warren composed it in 1941 for a movie called Sun Valley Serenade. Glenn Miller and his orchestra recorded it. Their version reached number 9 on the charts during World War II. Big band, strings, very white, very polished. Then the song essentially disappeared for almost 2 decades.
I found the thrill. Hey.
In 1960, a 22-year-old singer named Jamesetta Hawkins, you know her as Etta James, walked into Chess Records in Chicago. She'd been recording since she was a teenager, mostly up-tempo R&B and early rock and roll. But Leonard Chess had an idea. He wanted to reposition her, give her a more sophisticated sound, strings, ballads, something that could cross over to adult audiences.
My love has.
He pulled out his book of 100 standards and started flipping through old songs. At Last was in there. The way Etta sings that first word changes everything. She stretches it across half a measure, lets it hang in the air, like she's finally exhaling after years of holding her breath.
Yeah, oh yeah, then you smile.
The strings come in behind her, but they're not leading, they're following. She's in charge. The song went to number 2 on the R&B charts, number 47 pop, Not a crossover smash, but respectable.
At last.
It became her signature, the song people associated with her name even decades later.
That I could speak to.
Since then, the song has become a wedding staple, a first dance standard. It's appeared in over 60 films and television shows. Beyonce performed it at President Obama's inaugural ball in 2009, singing it while Barack and Michelle had their first dance as president and first lady. Etta James was reportedly not happy about that. She'd campaigned for Hillary Clinton and felt the moment should have been hers. She said some things publicly that she later walked back. Christina Aguilera sang At Last at Etta's funeral in 2012. She told the mourners that Etta had been her idol, her inspiration, the reason she became a singer. Celine Dion recorded it. Cyndi Lauper named an entire album after it. And every single person who covers this song has to face that opening, that one stretched syllable, that exhalation.
In clover.
Nobody delivers it like Etta did. That's why we keep trying, and that's why we keep failing. Some things can't be duplicated, only referenced.
And then.
Number 3, Ain't No Sunshine by Bill Withers, 1971.
Wonder if she.
Bill Withers was working at a factory in Los Angeles when he wrote this song. He was making toilet seats for Boeing 747s. That's not a metaphor or a colorful anecdote. That was his actual job.
But ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
He'd clock in, make airplane bathroom components, and write songs in his head while working the assembly line. He was 32 years old. Most people who make it in music have already made it by then. Bill Withers was just getting started.
I know, hey, I ought to leave the young thing alone.
The inspiration came from a movie and from real life. He'd watched a film called Days of Wine and Roses about two alcoholics destroying each other, and he'd been observing a couple in his neighborhood who kept breaking up and getting back together. He noticed how the man seemed to change when the woman was gone, like the light went out, like the sun disappeared.
Anytime she goes away.
He started piecing together a song about that specific kind of absence. Here's the part that almost didn't happen. Those 26 I knows in the middle of the song, that was supposed to be a placeholder. Bill planned to come back and write actual lyrics there, something more sophisticated. But when he recorded it with Booker T. Jones producing, Booker T. from Booker T. and the MGs, and Stephen Stills on guitar, and Donald Duck Dunn on bass, and Al Jackson Jr. on drums, the musicians in the room told him to leave it, all of them.
Time she goes away.
These were legends. Graham Nash was there too, and they all said the same thing. Don't change it. The repetition isn't a mistake, it's the hook.
House just ain't no home anytime she goes.
Sometimes you say something so many times it stops being words and becomes a feeling. That's what those 26 I knows are. Pure feeling.
But ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
The song hit number 3 on the pop charts in 1971, won the Grammy for Best R&B Song, and it launched Bill Withers into a career that would produce Lean on Me, Use Me, and Lovely Day.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. And this house.
Over 200 covers of Ain't No Sunshine exist now. Michael Jackson recorded it at 13 years old, same year the original came out. Paul McCartney covered it, Tom Jones, Sting. Lighthouse Family took it into the UK Top 10 in 1997. DMX sampled it for No Sunshine in 2001. Black Label Society did a metal version with literal horses in the music video.
Anytime she goes away.
And every single version keeps those 26 I know. Nobody tries to replace them with actual lyrics, because Bill Withers was right the first time. Sometimes the most articulate thing you can say is nothing at all, just repetition, just feeling, I know.
Anytime she goes away.
Number 2, Stand By Me by Ben E. King, 1961.
So darling, stand.
Ben E. King wasn't supposed to be a solo artist. That's the part of this story that changes everything. He was the lead singer of the Drifters, one of the premier R&B vocal groups of the late 50s and early 60s.
Just as long as you stand by.
They just had a number 1 hit with Save the Last Dance for Me. Ben E. King was on top. Then he got into a contract dispute with the group's manager and walked away. Suddenly, he was a solo artist, without a band, without a hit, without a clear path forward. He had this song he'd been working on based on a gospel spiritual called Stand By Me, Father, that Sam Cooke had recorded with the Soul Stirrers. Ben E. King stripped out the religious references, made it about a person instead of the Lord, made it about needing someone beside you when the world falls apart.
Just as long as you stand by.
He brought the song to the Drifters first. They rejected it, didn't want it, said it wasn't right for the group. So Ben took it to Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller, 2 of the greatest songwriters of the rock and roll era. They'd written Hound Dog, Jailhouse Rock.
Stand by. Whenever you
Stand By Me was recorded in 1961. That bass line, the one you can hear in your head right now, came together on the spot. The sound of a brush scraping across a snare drum gave it that gentle pulse, elegant simplicity, less than 3 minutes long. The song reached number 4 on the pop charts. Then something interesting happened. The song kept coming back. It recharted in 1986 after appearing in a Rob Reiner movie literally named after it.
It's the sky that we look upon.
The film was based on a Stephen King novella called The Body, about 4 boys searching for a dead body and finding something about themselves along the way. Reiner renamed the movie Stand By Me because the song captured what he was trying to say about friendship and loyalty.
So darling, stand.
The song went back to number 1 in the UK, number 9 in the US, 25 years after its original release. Over 500 covers exist now.
Just as long as you stand by.
John Lennon recorded it for his rock and roll album in 1975, his last solo hit before his 5-year retirement from music. Mickey Gilley took it country and landed at number 1. Tracy Chapman performed it acoustic and brought audiences to tears. The Kingdom Choir sang it at Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's wedding in 2018. Their version charted afterward. Playing for Change filmed street musicians across 6 continents performing it together, and the video has over 200 million views on YouTube. Ben E. King kept performing the song until his death in 2015, over 50 years of standing on stages and singing the same lyrics. He said he never got tired of it because the audience reaction was always the same. People holding hands, people crying, people remembering whoever stood by them. The song didn't belong to him anymore. It belonged to everyone who ever needed someone beside them when the world shook.
And the land is dark and the moon.
Number 1, Summertime by Billie Holiday, 1936.
Hush, little baby, don't you cry.
Number 1. And it's not even close, not by any metric.
That morning
never nothing can harm.
Summertime has been covered over 67,000 times. Let that number settle for a second. 67,000 documented recordings. That's not a typo. That's not exaggeration. According to the group that tracks these things, there were over 57,000 full recordings collected as of 2017, and the number keeps climbing. This is, by every measure, the most recorded song in history. George Gershwin wrote it in 1934. He was composing an opera called Porgy and Bess, set in a fictional black community in South Carolina called Catfish Row. Gershwin wanted to create what he called his own spiritual, a song that felt like it had always existed, like it came from the African American folk tradition, even though a white Jewish composer from Brooklyn wrote it. He spent years studying black music, traveled to South Carolina, absorbed the rhythms and the melodies. Summertime was the result. A lullaby, a mother singing to her child, promising that everything will be all right. The opera premiered in 1935 to mixed reviews and closed after 124 performances, but the song wouldn't die. It started traveling. Billie Holiday recorded the first charting version in 1936. Sidney Bechet made it a jazz standard. Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong recorded a version in 1957 that defined what the song could be. Her silk against his gravel, both of them finding new corners of a melody that seemed to have infinite corners. Then Sam Cooke put soul on it, turned it into something that felt like a lazy afternoon in the South. Billy Stewart recorded the most inventive version in 1966, a scat-singing, rhythm-shifting, wildly creative interpretation that hit the top 10 on both the pop and R&B charts. His version doesn't just cover the song, it reinvents it while still honoring it.
That morning, never nothing can harm.
Janis Joplin screamed it with Big Brother and the Holding Company, turning a lullaby into a desperate rock anthem. Al Green moaned it. Miles Davis played it without a single word, his muted trumpet saying everything the lyrics ever said. Sublime sampled it for Doing Time in 1996. Jazz musicians play it. Classical musicians play it. Rock bands play it. Hip-hop artists sample it. Country singers have taken a shot at it. Opera singers still perform it in the context Gershwin intended. "67,000 artists have tried to capture whatever summertime has, and we're still not done." Here's what's profound about that. The song is a lullaby, a mother telling her child not to worry. Your daddy's rich and your mama's good looking. Nothing bad will happen. Fish are jumping. Cotton is high. Except we know the world the song was written about. We know life in the Jim Crow South for a black family in the 1930s was not easy. The mother knows it too. She's lying to her child, or she's hoping, or she's praying. The promise of the song is beautiful, specifically because it might not be true. And every generation needs to hear that promise again. Needs to believe, just for 3 minutes, that the living might actually be easy. That everything might actually be all right. That's why 67,000 artists have recorded it. Not because it's pretty, not because it's technically interesting, because it offers something we all need, hope against evidence, a lullaby for a world that rarely feels like summer.